Καλημέρα. Good morning to all and welcome you all to our today webinar. We are very glad to have you with us. We are glad also to welcome our keynote speakers. So in this webinar, we will try to give you an overview for the programmatic landscape in Europe and highlight the importance and role of DSP technologies by focusing and unlocking Yahoo DSP. Yahoo DSP has been voted as best global DSP by almost 90,000 experts in Adweek in the US. So we at Yahoo connect people to their passions with innovative products, content, and technology. With Yahoo Experience, you can experience both worlds. I mean, all the benefits of a walled garden with a global presence with almost 1 billion unique users, but without compromising on transparency and independent measurement. With Yahoo DSP, you can get omni-channel quality and scale. You can present one consistent message across all screens and reach your local or global audience on any device and in any format. We are really very thrilled to launch openly increase our Yahoo DSP. So let's welcome Tom Sattle, the Senior Digital Advertising Analyst at IAB Europe, that will give us the picture of programmatic landscape in Europe. Tom, good morning.
Good morning.
We welcome you to our webinar, and we wait to hear what's new from IAB in Europe on programmatic. So, floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Irini. That's really excited to be here, talking to you about the programmatic advertising in Europe, and also what are the key growth drivers that we see in 2022. As I said, my name is Tom Suttle, and I'm a senior digital advertising analyst. So I'm focused largely on digital ad spend numbers in Europe, and how we see them change, and where do we see as the sort of key trends happening in the industry. So with that in mind, I'll start off just by looking at the macro digital ad market in Europe. 2021, as I'm sure most of you are aware, is a really strong year for digital advertising. We have here 29% growth for 2021, and we're projecting that to continue, that strong growth. So 2022, we've got at 14.4% growth, and you can see that's above the average that we saw from 2012 to 2019, which was about 12.5%. So those key trends that changed during the pandemic of people shopping more online and key digital trends have really seen the digital ad market continue to flourish. But that strong growth is unevenly distributed. So we can see that the formats being bought are changing, right? So there's a lot of that growth is coming from areas such as retail media, CTV, which I'm going to talk a bit about today. Audio, fastly growing, albeit off a smaller base. And you can see down to sort of search, still in double-digit growth, but about 10% being a bit further down. And we see new players challenging the market. So you can see here that Amazon, for the first time, announced their advertising revenues, and their ad business is almost as big as YouTube's and 7 times larger than that of Twitter, interestingly. I've put Walmart in here because obviously I mentioned retail media briefly, whose ad revenue is 58% bigger than Spotify. So we're seeing some changes happening in the ad market. Both these numbers are global. And at the IAB Europe, we did a study recently with the sort of whole programmatic ecosystem, from advertisers, agencies to ad tech, publishers. And we were looking at, very interested to find out what the advertising agency view was on the key drivers for digital advertising. And probably these would be no surprise, but Gaining access to premium inventory at scale was the fastest growing from 2020 to 2021. So that's what the buy side are really looking for. Things like lower cost of media, of course, remain important. Trading operational efficiencies, albeit slightly lower. And the survey also backed up our growth expectations. So obviously I was talking a top line ad spend number, and this is coming from surveys or speaking to people in the industry. Connected TV, as we already mentioned, is incredibly fast growing area of digital advertising and a bit of a buzzword at the moment. But you can also see other areas, audio, which I already mentioned. You've also got digital out of home, which is getting real interest from all sides of the industry as a place to solve some of those problems that I mentioned in the previous slide, like scale, operational efficiencies. You've got things like AI, of course, there's the metaverse, and increased interest in other areas in digital advertising. So the industry is changing, as always, at quite a fast rate, and we're seeing new avenues popping up. And this final slide on that survey just showed that the reliance on third-party data reduced from 2020 to 2021. So that's the grey bar, reduced from 90% to 70%. And you can see that the reliance on first-party data went up from 80% to 95%. And of course, a lot of these formats and platforms being bought, such as CTV, retail media, trying to access these first-party data sets, being important. So, as I mentioned, I wanted to deep dive a bit on CTV today. I think it's a really hot topic and an area here at the IB Europe we've been doing quite a lot of research into. I wanted to just start off with a few quotes. So these are mentions of connected TV and company results this year. So Google, Philip Schindler, the Senior Vice President of Google, said connected TV is our fastest growing screen, and we think there's a ton of runway ahead. Brands are getting the best of all worlds, the precision of digital with the scale of linear, and a lot more relevance. So Google are getting very excited about the opportunities they see in connected TV, of course, for YouTube, but also they have Chromecast. Trade Desk said connected TV continued to be our fastest growing channel at scale around the world. And Programmatic said their CTV business, inclusive of OTT, grew more than 6 times over the last year, Q4. So this was their February announcement for Q4 2021. The CTV business was 6 times bigger than it was the year before. So we can see in the commentary back to shareholders, a lot of these publicly listed companies are getting really excited about the opportunities that exist in connected TV. Of course, this connected TV growth is being fueled by the increased adoption of smart TVs. You can see samples from a few different countries. The expected growth of smart TV continues to rise. And this is leading to a really burgeoning and growing global CTV market. So this is Group M numbers. From 2014, the global CTV market was worth 2.5 billion euros, and it's expected to be 10 times bigger than that in 2024. But Europe remains a little bit behind from an advertising supported streaming point of view. So this is more looking at the holistic view of the global visual entertainment business. But you can see here the pay TV, TV advertising, share of revenue, SVOD, AVOD. You can see AVOD in Europe is 12% of the global visual entertainment, which of course a lot of that's happening in connected TV. Whereas when we compare Europe to other areas such as the USA, APAC, they're seeing much higher percentages of AVODs. Of course, there's different dynamics, different pay TV models that have held up some of the Europe revenue numbers. And you can see on the right that Europe's actually smaller in relative terms as well. And I think that leads to, there's an opportunity gap on AVOD there in Europe. I think it's worth just over 10 billion there. Currently, if it was to be at the levels of USA and APAC, it would be double that, right? So there's a 10 to 11 billion opportunity there. And one of the key trends here at the IB Europe, we think, is going to increase the AVOD numbers, not just in Europe, to be fair, but globally. But specifically looking at Europe, is the number of households that have SVOD packages is growing, right? So you can see in the bottom right that the number of households in Europe that have more than 5 SVOD subscriptions has grown 4-fold in the last 4 years. Also, the number of households having 3, 4, And yeah, this meme just kind of shows that as well. This is obviously American centric, but if you were to have all of the SVODs right, you'd be paying just as much as people were originally paying for pay TV. So, and then of course, be remiss not to mention inflation at the moment, as we're all aware, is higher. There's a squeeze on cost of living. I think all of these things are likely to lead to a bit of a tipping point for SVODs and potentially more streaming happening in AVOD. So more ad-supported streaming happening, not just globally, but not just in Europe, but globally. And we've seen that, right? I'm sure many of you will be aware of these things, but HBO Max launched an ad-supported tier mid-2021. They've launched in another 15 countries in Europe this year. Amazon launched their ad-supported streaming device, so IMDb TV, which has just been renamed to Freevee. That's launching in Germany this year, already launched in the UK. Disney Plus announced an ad-supported tier, which they already have in India, and they're now rolling that out globally. And Netflix, of course, was the big news that they have announced an ad-supported tier off the back of a decline in subscription numbers. And this is good news for the digital ad industry, as users when faced with the opportunity to have an ad-supported tier and pay less, they tend to choose that. We can look at Hulu in the US as an example. This is their plans. On the left, you can see this is what they offer: $6 a month for the ad-supported tier, $12 a month for no ads. And on the right, you can see how many choose the ad-supported tier. So, we expect with some of these major companies that, of course, taking up large viewing numbers in Europe with their ad-supported tiers, we will likely see an increase in inventory available. But the CTV market does still have many hurdles to growth. So measurement remains, of course, the big point in CTV. We've seen that in the M&A landscape. There's lots of acquisitions and purchases in the space of trying to solve the measurement problem in CTV. And there are lots of efforts underway. The interest of companies such as Google and CTV, they're investing heavily in solving this measurement problem, that sort of true cross-screen attribution. But there's a long way to go, I think, for that to be resolved. There's a fragmented market and ecosystem, especially in Europe. You've got a lot of local players in different countries who don't have the benefits of scale that exist in such as the USA, where they have a few key players. Inventory concerns remain, and obviously what I've just mentioned hopefully will change some of that, but there are still some inventory concerns. Many countries in Europe still have very high pay TV penetration. Most of CTV is still direct or programmatic direct. Pretty much all of it is. So, of course, that will impact pricing. And then you've also got the budget controllers and expertise in CTV. So I think historically there's been problems of display people trying to buy in a TV world or TV people trying to buy in a display-led world. So I think that's been one of the challenges for CTV historically. And then, of course, you've got CTV targeting. I think there's a real need for sophisticated, privacy-proof contextual targeting. I think, again, not quite there yet with that, but I think a lot of these things are underway. There's been some new releases from the IAB Tech Lab, you may have seen, to help solve some of those problems. And another interesting point in CTV really is that you can take action, right? And I think this is an example of on IMDb TV advert shown, which linked directly to something that you could buy on Amazon Prime, right? You could click directly through to a browser and purchase something. And I think we'll likely see more of that. I think, action on CTV, I think is a really fast growing format. I think YouTube have called that out a lot in their annual results. And I think IMDb are leading the way here on sort of combining these new transactional data sets that we see. So that's the CTV landscape, which, I think there's lots in there to unpack. And I think I've only really touched upon a few key points there. And I of course got to just quickly mention the retail media growth as well. not deep diving on this as much, but just the point that this market is really accelerating quickly. You can see 8 billion in 2021, up to 25 billion in 2026, and really fast growth. And that is being driven by Amazon, but there is a significant opportunity outside of Amazon. So Amazon's share of retail media, you can see on the left, in 2021 is over 80%. But a lot of those advertisers are small businesses, a lot of Chinese sellers, being serviced by specialist vendors and niche agencies. And we're seeing a lot of other grocery retailers operating in Europe that are starting to work with the large advertisers, FMCGs, national and international brands. So it's not a winners takes all market, effectively. There's significant opportunities in retail media outside of Amazon. And of course, this growth in commerce advertising can also be seen in social commerce, where if we look to China, who are the leader in this, we're seeing a lot of these live streaming commerce events. In one day in China in 2021, on Singles Day, which is a big shopping day in China, 2 creators generated 2.7 billion euros in one day in sales, which is crazy. It's 34% of Zalando's yearly revenue, which are a key player in retail media in Europe. And you can see here that China really leading the way in social commerce. They represent 85% of all social commerce spend, whereas they represent 34% of the digital ad market globally. So I think there's lots of interesting things happening in this space and something to be aware of. And finally, I guess, I've talked about CTV, briefly mentioned retail media. Of course, they're in the context of the many internets, as it's put here, but of course, these are new emerging walled gardens that are existing. And there are, of course, many DSPs, such as Yahoo DSP, that are there to help you access most of those. But I think, the point of this is that it is fragmented, right? The digital ad market, and it's only these new changes, CTV, existing in CTV and retail media, are leading to further fragmentation in the market. And I think that's obviously a key point for us here at the IB Europe, where we're looking for this European level coordination and standardization to help us sort of build these scaled markets in order to compete in these spaces. So that's almost it. So yeah, the summary is that the digital ad market continues to be in strong health, expecting a really strong 2022. CTV, I think, is growing incredibly fast, and the AVOD SVOD hybrid models that I talked about, I think are going to potentially, increase our forecast even further for CTV than what we already have. And then, of course, retail media and commerce advertising being the fastest growing area fueled by Amazon. And all of these changes are leading to a further fragmented system. So that's it. Thank you so much. I hope you found it useful. Feel free
Thank
to
you,
reach out
Tom.
to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. It was really enlightening. You give us a quick overview and more in-depth overview of what is happening with CTV that we believe will be the key factor of dramatically change the way we traditionally buy TV inventories. And also retail media is a big promise, let's say, for bigger spends. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
And see you soon, I hope, in Athens. Bye, Tom. Thank you. Bye. So we are going next with Yahoo DSP, and let's welcome Lindsay Wiles. She is the head of Programmatic EMEA at Yahoo. Lindsay, we are so glad to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and good morning.
Thank you.
From London.
Thank you. We are waiting from your experience to share with us and unlock all the potential of Yahoo DSP. So floor is yours. Thank you, Lindsay.
Brilliant. Thank you, Irene. Thank you for the introduction. Fantastic. Well, good morning, everyone. So I think I've got about sort of 15 minutes this morning, and I'm going to use that time to give you an overview of our platform. who we are, why we're different, and most importantly, where we're making a real difference to the marketing campaigns that we're running and working with our partners on. But first, maybe a quick recap, I think, in terms of where we've come from. I think the Yahoo DSP sometimes is seen as a bit of a new brand on the block, but we're not. And I think it's really important to recognise, that we've got a really strong heritage here in delivering digital marketing over the last 15, 20 years through a number of very well recognised pedigree digital brands such as Brightroll, AOL, and Millennial Medium. So these are brands that have both worked in digital and mobile. And what we've been doing over the last couple of years is working really hard behind the scenes to consolidate those or to take all the best components so that you can say we are sort of now one sort of best of breed. And in doing that, we've produced a unified stack for Yahoo, which I'll come on to tell you a little bit more about in a minute or two. But first, in terms of who we work with in Europe, I thought I'd just give you a quick snapshot of who our key partners are. We're working with all the big six agencies. They like us because of the trust and transparency that we have, the fact that we can bring, they've identified this additional value that we can bring into their existing stacks. And we're very supportive in terms of how we work with them on delivering their trading strategies. We also have made a massive inroad into some of the independents. They work more flexibly. They're very keen to explore and develop omnichannel buying solutions, which we excel in. And we also we'll help them to underpin, especially around performance, better value in terms of how they deliver their campaigns. And as Irene mentioned earlier on, we're really proud that we've been winning awards 2 years ago, the best in ad tech for Adweek. So let me bring you on to that piece that I said around sort of where we differentiate. So if you're a marketer or working in an agency and you're looking to pick a DSP to partner with, you've probably got two options here. On the left, you have walled gardens. We know who they are. Lots of benefits with them. They have proprietary data, unique inventory, and they bring scale. But the value equation is that a lot of data comes in and it's very difficult to get it out. It can be a bit more of a black box. And when it comes to things like measurement, you have to take their word for it. And they're sometimes not as flexible as you would like them to be in terms of how they work. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the independents. So these are the guys that have built a business on being much easier to work with. They customize their products and they offer fantastic customer service. But in an era when we're moving into a cookieless future, they don't have their own identity. They don't own their consumer relationships. And so in that respect, they don't really offer anything proprietary. And that's where we come in as Yahoo, insofar as we offer all the assets of a walled garden, but we operate a lot more akin to an independent in terms of our transparency and our ease of use. So we are delivering an end-to-end, we are an end-to-end stack technology partner, and we work in supporting advertisers in unlocking the value of their full marketing campaigns whilst putting their consumers first. And when we talk about a unified stack, for that, it's around the economies of scale that we can bring by working on sort of three key areas. So first of all, you probably recognize us as being a massive publisher. So millions of people come to Yahoo every day. They love us. We're a trusted brand. We produce content around finance, sport, news, and lifestyle. Second to this, we also have an SSP. So we have technology that build tools for publishers to help them monetize their sites and their inventory. And because of this, we have direct exclusive access to this premium inventory. So again, in a world where it's great to have data, that's fantastic, where context is becoming even more important, you really need to have access to this inventory and the control that comes with that. So in combination with this scale and this SSP, it means that we've got a huge first-party data footprint. And then thirdly, it's the way that we use these two things in combination to power performance. So we are a business that's very much driven about providing profitable outcomes for our clients. But as I said, unlike the walled gardens, we provide that transparency with that. So I'll just touch on these three things in a little bit more depth. So first, just to start with identity. We currently reach around 564 million unique users across the globe. And within EMEA, in our region, it's around about 192 million. So again, 1 in every 3 people that come to Yahoo are based in EMEA. And it's this footprint that we have as a publisher that develop these diverse data signals. And it's these data signals that's really key in how we connect together our consumer journeys. And as you know, a solid data foundation really is the starting point to any sort of successful programmatic strategy. Not just the programmatic or the data that you're bringing in from your partners, but also that you can combine it with in a compliant way to gain competitive advantage. And so we've got this scaled data available because of the relationships that we have with our direct consumers. So again, these are active consumers who are logging into accounts, they're viewing content, they're searching, and they're receiving emails. And here's just an example of some of the scale of that, around about, I said, 9 billion emails a month and over 1 billion searches. So it's these signals that feed into our identity graph. Again, this is rooted in these deterministic signals from our user customer base. And this allows us to be a lot more confident and more accurate in our ability to target and measure performance, as well as to be compliant with consent-based sort of user privacy. And again, because of this, we also see sort of much higher match rates with an advertiser's CRM data and a publisher's data because of this identity graph. So you can be assured that when you bring your targets, your audiences into the DSP, that we're going to help you to reach at scale. But it's not the scale and the quality of the data that we have in the DSP that's important. It's also about how we make that data usable for our customers. And we do that in 3 key ways. So first of all, it's around helping people identify insights around their audiences that they can bring in and use for the sort of pre-campaign building stage. So competitor analysis and things around the sort of the key sector trends. It's then also how that data goes on to be used in the targeting piece. So for example, if you are a toothpaste manufacturer, you might want to reach people that are within your category, or you might want to build out audiences that you think are likely to want to buy your product. Or importantly, if you're growing market share, you might want to reach the competition. So any product or Oral-B, for example, that's competitive to Colgate, you might want to reach out and build audience for that. But also reach lapsed users, so people that have bought your product which no longer do. And our data allows you to do that. And then more importantly, it also enables you to feed that piece into measurement as well, which is around real business outcomes. So it's not just about a click, it's the ability to be able to measure the impact on area like search and sales uplift, real tangible business outcomes that your media budgets can be measured against. And I feel at this stage, it's impossible to have a conversation around data without talking about what's coming around the corner with the cookieless future, because advertisers are going to need to start to look at these sort of more privacy sort of centric solutions when it comes to being able to deliver simple messaging pieces. So without cookies, we have no attribution, no audience targeting, and no frequency capping. So it's good news to say that Yahoo is really well prepared for these changes, and that we've been taking for the last couple of years, a real sort of integrated approach or future-facing approach to how we can help our partners tackle this sort of unforeseen sort of future. And so with this, we've got 2 pillars that we're taking to market at the moment. The first on the left here is the Connect ID. So this is where we have a persistent identity in market. We have a user identifier within the Yahoo ad platform, which exists without the need for third-party cookies. And this, again, it's interoperable with other third-party IDs, which we can sort of seamlessly sort of match together to enable audience activation. This is a product which is currently available in the US and in APAC, and we're hoping to have a solution for EMEA later on this year. Secondly, we have next-gen solutions. So this is to cater for that situation where obviously we identify the fact that there's going to be a huge swathe of inventory out there that does not have addressability. So just to give you some idea, at the moment, I think 75% of inventory that's out there is addressable, 25% isn't, but when cookieless happens, that will switch round. And what Next Generation does, it's a groundbreaking technology that we have. It helps to monetize ID-less supply on both mobile and the web. The way that it works is it helps to preserve audience creation and reach for non-addressable environments in a privacy-centric manner by taking our first-party data and training a model, which then helps to sort of project that model out into sort of traffic or signals that we can see that are coming in from the bid stream, for example, content, weather, geo, and device. And then we build machine learning around that, and we use that to make sort of a precise inference for the user. So again, two very powerful solutions here, and two that really differentiate us in market. You'll probably find that a lot of our competitors are building for one or the other, but we're building for both because we feel that they are the same side, two sides of the same coin. So let's go on and have a quick look around supply. So we obviously believe that the approach to premium starts with our consumer and the environments within which we're helping advertisers reach them. So as you would expect from a major DSP, a key component for us is to provide scaled quality supply to help drive KPI goals. And just referring back to what Tom was saying about this move into emerging channels, our ad platform is omni-channel by design. So if you're an advertiser that works with us, you will be at probably your single point of access to supply, and this can be anything from sort of standard display formats right through to CTV and native to digital out of home. We have three key approaches to how we do this. As I said, we build out our owned and owned properties, so where we own our own supply or we partner with that. We have a direct integration into over 30 of the biggest SSPs in the world. And then the third part of our strategy is where we partner with some of the biggest digital brands in the world to deliver what we refer to as our Yahoo preferred network. So this is our exclusive network. So it's the largest non-social native marketplace across owned and operated, and working with premium partners such as Apple News, Microsoft and Samsung. It is a huge differentiator in our offering. It provides really competitive measurement against both brand and performance KPIs. So again, some of the stats that you can see on here, I think, speak for themselves. The traffic is 99% viewable, which is very, very attractive. It reaches people at scale. And as I said, it's premium and exclusive to us. And the most important thing as well is it tends to be the entry point for a lot of clients into our DSP before they go on to expand into other channels. And one of the ways that we help to support this with our clients is through our in-house creative agency, our Yahoo Creative Studios, who work with clients all the way through from strategy and planning to creating mocks for implementation and ad serving. And they can help build out content that can run in an omni-channel way. And they also work on utilizing that first party data into our ad creatives, such as dynamic creative solutions. So again, they'll work with you at no added cost, and it sort of underpins our commitment to helping drive an omni-channel strategy. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation why the big six are working with us, and this is around areas such as trust and transparency. So just to touch on this really briefly, a bit more detail about what I mean for this. We have a number of ways in which we're delivering this to our customers, one proprietary and one working with third parties. We want our customers to have the option of this. So this goes right through to things like having human vetting in terms of how we're checking for our campaigns. We have our own proprietary tool called Talent Pro, which checks for fraud both at that pre and post bid stage, and we deliver an anti-fraud guarantee of 5%. And then we're also working with other third parties that you will no doubt be very familiar with, such as IAS, Moat and Grapeshot. Again, these provide the opportunity to optimize towards viewability thresholds, as well as build out sort of custom keyword inclusion and exclusion lists verified by third parties. So you don't have to take our word for it. And then lastly, coming on to performance and measurement and planning. So as I mentioned earlier on, our USP of the DSP is that we build audience tools that help you turn insight into action. And the first way that we do this is through our audience builder tool. So this helps you to build out custom audiences, which uses signals from advertisers' first-party CRM data in combination with our proprietary data and taxonomies from all major third-party DMPs. So this can be around things like age and gender, location, purchase behavior, and content. We also have an advanced audience modeling capability, which uses machine learning. So this consistently drives market-leading performance. The algorithms incorporate everything that we know about users' past behaviors and then predictive actions as well to help influence decisions in real time. So again, this can be used for branding messages, but it's particularly effective when you're looking at more sort of performance-driven campaigns, since the optimization tools involves functionalities such as sort of performance prediction, control, and bidding. And then we use this to build two further options, one of which is predictive audiences. So this is where our AI tool builds out sort of 8 portions of segments that people can use for targeting. So those top 4 are much smaller, sort of more highly productive segments, obviously with limited scale, and then the larger ones, they still perform better than average. And what a lot of advertisers do is they sort of mix and match that to build up their campaigns. And then the second one is around driving lookalike audiences. So again, reaching new people who are more likely to be interested in your businesses because they've got those common qualities, whether it's demographic or informational interests like that belong to existing customers. So very simply, you know, our formula is very simple. When you couple powerful data at scale in combination with machine learning and a transparent, efficient pricing structure with no hidden fees, you get much better results. And these are some of the tools that some other DSPs will charge for, but we offer them as part of our service in delivering value. So first of all, when it comes to supply path optimization, we have a tool called Omniscope. This helps to give you complete transparency over the supply that's available in our entire ecosystem. It looks at every single bid request and every winning bid to let you know at a glance how much you would need to pay to reach your audience, whether that's through a SSP, a domain, a channel, or a format. And this is very useful when it comes to sort of building out your campaign at the beginning or optimizing as your campaign develops. We have an automated bid shading tool, which helps you to navigate first and second price auctions automatically for free. I've touched on AdLearn, which is our AI tool, but again, this is the algorithm that utilizes supply and demand level data to help you build optimal bidding strategies. And then we have our predictive audiences, as I mentioned earlier on, great for branding, for audience extension performance, but also around acquisition, purchase, and driving leads. And then just to sort of, in terms of how this sort of gets combined, just to touch on very, very quickly around how we measure this. So this is the last part of what I referred to earlier on. Our proprietary sort of insights are powered by our ID graphs, and we believe that we offer something quite unique in market because it's measurability that goes right back to outcomes or real sort of business outcomes. So whether this is looking at search or sales uplift, we have tools and measurement systems to help deliver against this. We offer obviously privacy-friendly data sharing options so that you can be assured that your campaign data is being handled with sort of consumer trust and privacy in mind, and things like clean rooms as well. So where you can sort of analyze log files and macros, which helps you sort of manage your data in a more compliant way. If you don't want to use our proprietary tools, then we also work with third-party tools such as ComScore and Nielsen around ad verification, and third parties such as Millward Brown, who can do sort of creative pre-testing and brand lift studies as well. But one thing I would really love you to take away from this is how it all adds up in terms of making the most of your advertising budget. So it's very much our strategy that we want to make sure that more of your advertising money goes on working media. And this slide here just shows you very, very simply, you know, if you have a budget of 5 million, how that would break down if you spend that money through the Yahoo DSP versus that through an independent. As you can see here, the only money that we take off is for our tech fee, whereas some of our competitors will charge for some of those features I mentioned earlier around bid shading and device graph, etc. So these are the tools here that really sort of drive sort of cost efficiencies. And again, you know, when you're looking at how the data costs bring in, because again, independent DSPs don't have their own data, you have to buy that. that typically ends up being 3 times the price of what we would normally charge in the DSP, you can understand why we back out to a much more sort of cost-effective solution. So just to summarize really briefly, our unified stack brings all these benefits of a walled garden without compromising on transparency and independent measurement. We're providing quality inventory at scale so that we can allow the successful delivery of omnichannel campaigns in a brand safe environment with the added value of creative support. And we're giving you those tools that give you the confidence to ensure that you're buying at those most sort of cost-effective rates and delivering the best value for your clients. So thank you very much for your time.
Lindsay, very enlightening, thank you. You really unlocked all the competitive advantages of Yahoo DSP, and I believe now everybody that joined the webinar has a clear and better picture of what we are offering at Yahoo for the programmatic era. So we thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
See you soon in Athens, and have a great day ahead. Thank you, Lindsay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now it's time to welcome Georgia Koutroumanu, across media, our sales director, strategies and sales director. Georgia and our team has a more than 3 years, almost 3 years experience on working on a daily basis with our DSP. So she is the guru, and she is here to share with you all our experience from the Greek market and how you can better utilize to your daily business. Georgia, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Amy.
The floor is yours, and thank you
for the introduction. Thank you. Good morning, all. Thank you for joining our webinar. In addition to all remarkable points Lindsay mentioned, we so thank you. We will now share with you our experience from the Greek market and see together how Yahoo DSP performs in terms of supply, media channels, and targeting. So let's get a deep dive to real cases and insights now. Let's start with supply and premium inventory in Yahoo DSP. A very important feature is that Yahoo DSP is already connected to all major exchanges, a non-walled garden platform model which connects us not only to Yahoo properties, but also to third-party supply-side platforms. Yahoo invests in premium third-party connections, giving advertisers scaled access to inventory from leading publisher partners beyond Yahoo-owned and owned. So it's better together. With this end-to-end unified structure, Yahoo DSP is the unique buying platform connecting the brands to a total brand-safe local and international inventory. Let's take a look now what local supply and inventory means. We see here that when geo-targeting is set to Greece, Machine gives us back supply estimations from the most popular local and international domains. This applies to all channels, of course, meaning display, native, video, and emerging channels. Our experience has shown us that transparent whitelisting is the key for successful campaigns when combined with the estimations Yahoo Forecast tool provides. And this unique one-buy solution gives us access to all premium advertising formats with exclusive access to the largest non-social native marketplace, Yahoo Premium Native Marketplace, which you can find as preferred network into Yahoo DSP. Also, platform has served, delivered, and still delivers millions of impressions and achieves hard KPIs for display, video formats, standard, rich media, and high interaction, interactive ones. Following the absolute trend of in-game advertising, a step before the metaverse era, private deals and bit switch connections are already set and done to welcome in-game display and video campaigns. One of the largest entertainment channels, in-game, is a massive opportunity for early adopters as it developed rapidly during the last 2 years in COVID-19 pandemic and offers an exceptional brand-safe environment for advertisers to place their brand seamlessly into the gameplay experience. Let's move on now and discover the opportunities of our unique omnichannel environment and see how Yahoo DSP embraces innovation. Yahoo DSP is one platform that does it all. It is an all-in-one platform consolidating all aspects of campaign management. Advanced creative services paired with future-proof data drive high performance when applied along with an effective media mix. At the same time, with ad serving and integrated reporting, you can have the whole picture of all KPIs and metrics. It is a 360 ultimate omnichannel destination. Yahoo's unified ad platform is omnichannel by design. For advertisers, this means that Yahoo DSP can be their single point of access for premium supply, from native, gaming, connected TV, and digital out-of-home. All buying methods are available: open real-time bidding marketplace, programmatic guaranteed, always-on deals, private marketplace deals, and native marketplace access. Holistic planning and management is a reality, as all you have to do is to allocate media spend across all channels, and the same campaign will serve in different channels at the same time. Let's take a quick look now to emerging channels, which are part of our solutions, especially if an advertiser is targeting international markets like EMEA, EU5, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and United States. Yahoo is expanding and investing DSP capabilities to include household addressable TV and CTV budgets in a single platform. Our solution offers a unified approach to precision targeting in TV. Advertisers can now buy and manage CTV and household addressable in a single user interface. Yahoo DSP is first to market, offering a single platform for these two crucial components of advanced TV inventory. Plus, our digital out-of-home supply with pre-installed Yahoo SSP partnerships, Magnite, Broadsign, Vista Media, giving us access to thousands of screens globally and venue types, which can be indicated into our digital out-of-home planner, providing all updates regarding number of venues, screens, location type, ad type, and more. Moving forward to the last part of this agenda, we will now explore together the way we turn data and insights into action and results. Inside the platform, we come across diverse data points, giving us the complete picture of audience building. And it is true that you can build audiences the way you want. For example, you can use first-party data from owned publishers or third-party vendors' data, or even CRM data, meaning audiences from advertisers' side. We have the exclusive solution of leveraging first-party and third-party data singles under a unique integration. At the same time, next-gen solutions, as Lindsay mentioned also, are active with our lookalike and predictive audiences. Let's see now the three major types of Yahoo custom audiences based on exclusive first-party data. And these are the search keyword segment, search retargeting audience, keyword based on Yahoo search engine queries. The purchase receipt segment, targeting people on what they buy, confirmed through their Yahoo Mail account. Mail domain, the subscriber segment, with long-term Yahoo Mail users receiving incoming messages from certain domains. And let's see now together with, let's move on with a real example from our favorite segment, the mail domain one. So here, we can see in real-time recording the process of creating a mail domain segment with domains from popular brands coming from travel, finance, and retail industries. Domains like aegean.com, olympic.com, periousbank.com, and alphagr from finance sector, ab.gr from food retail, Scrooge.gr, and Plesio.gr. It is really impressive how quickly the machine finds all matched unique cookies that have provided their Yahoo Mail account to these domains, these exact domains, in order to receive emails and newsletters and become part of the email database. Of course, the examples can be huge. And we see here these exact 7 ones. Of course, these domains-based audiences can be targeted across channels, either on native lines, display, video. Or another option is that you can always create new enhanced custom segments, combine first-party and third-party data offered from current integrations with global data providers like DOOH, LiveRamp, Excellent, Lotamen, and more vendors you can find inside the platform. We can see part of the list here with active global reach of each vendor. And what is very important is that these integrations offer separate and transparent measurements and a variety of in-market, demographic, and branded data. And something here very, very new that we share with you today for the very first time. Our new audience overlap tool allows you to find custom audiences you have created and check the overlap with each other. It's an excellent way to refine audience penetration, understand the power of each segment, and optimize ad campaigns. Finally, we can always take advantage of our unparalleled next-gen targeting solutions, including our embedded contextual targeting, which is becoming an essential tool for smarter and more precise messaging. Inside the platform, there are contextual standard segments from Yahoo and partners like Integral Ad Science, IAB, Grapeshot, P39, and more. At the same time, platform offers custom contextual targeting solution, keyword-based ones, as we see here in this example from Grapeshot Custom Predicts tool. Powered by the Yahoo Weather API, Yahoo's weather targeting allows you to reach audiences based on real-time or 7 days focused weather conditions. You can select among snowy, rainy, windy, cloudy, sunny, or stormy, or even select a specified range of temperature and give your targeting strategy and ad relevance the extra performance they deserve. That's all from me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention.
Yeah, you were absolutely stunning. I mean, I thought that everybody understood what we can do through our DSP and what we are currently doing for our clients. Thank you so much for your presentation. And now we are close to close the webinar. So Chris has invited everybody who probably has a question just to chat or to type the question. As for CTV and DOOH inventory in Greece, we are working on it. As you can see, in Europe, we are a bit behind on the supply, but we do hope that within this year, we will launch some important news starting from CTV, and I believe in the next year, in the next 8 months, we'll try to establish a local digital out-of-home supply. So stay tuned. We will be very eager and very much pioneers in this new era, because we believe that both CTV and digital out-of-home that is currently being only traditionally will be the key factors to change our daily business. So stay tuned. Any other question? To clarify for those that wants to have a direct seat with Yahoo DSP, that in case of international clients, at this moment, as Georgia mentioned, you can now buy CTV and digital out of home. Actually, we are doing this for one of our biggest clients, that is the Greek National Tourism Organization, and we do deliver campaigns to promote our country to over 20 countries across the globe. So for the mature countries in the EU and in the US, we are already buying through our DSP digital out of home and connected TV. So for your international clients, everything is available now. So just a big thanks to all of our speakers, and big thanks to all of you that you joined the webinar. I hope you find it enlightening. I hope you learn more about the programmatic era and more about our DSP. Our DSP is now available for you with direct seats. So all the power of Yahoo, all the power of Yahoo DSP can become yours. Thank you, and wishing you a great period ahead, and hopefully summer is coming in Athens as well. So καλό καλοκαίρι σε όλους. Σας ευχαριστούμε.